Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. And this week, sort of a first. First ever requested belt battle. Those of you who've been watching for a while, you know I love wrestling championship belts. I'm a huge fan of them. Some of you who watch regularly, you're obviously fans of wrestling belts too. On the last belt battle I did, I got a request to pit AEW's championships versus New Japan Pro Wrestling's championships. So here we go. AEW versus NJPW. Belt battle. But as always, for those of you who are seeing this for the first time, let's begin with the criteria. Number one, this is all about aesthetic appeal. This has nothing to do with the prestige of the championships, who has the better champions. It's just the look of the belts themselves. Number two, I'm putting them into categories, pitting one against another. In this case, New Japan Pro Wrestling has a lot of championships right now. And they're actually right now broken up into categories. There's the IWGP Championships and the NJPW Strong Championships. Most of the Strong Championships are not going to be featured in this belt battle because I was going to only pick one of those. For example, a category like the Tag Team Championships. I'm just picking my favorite looking Tag Team Championship from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which in this case will be the IWGP Heavyweight Championships. I like the gold plating a little bit better than the nickel plating on the Junior Tag Team Championships, and I like both those way more than I like the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. In fact, going throughout this, there's only going to be one NJPW Strong Championship belt in the belt battle. And that's only because it didn't have anything else to compete with. So before you guys comment, what about the Television Championship? It didn't make the cut. Then again, it wouldn't have won against any of AEW's belts. That belt is ugly as sin. So let's get into the first category, uncategorizable. This is where I put things like where there's only one divisional championship or an unrecognized title, something like that. And in the category for AEW, we have the FTW Championship. It's in there because it's in AEW, it gets defended in AEW, but it's not recognized as an official title. Now this championship, of course, it's been around for a long time. It was invented by Taz in ECW when he couldn't get a World Heavyweight Championship, so he came up with the FTW Championship. If you weren't around and you don't know what that means, look it up yourself. And with him being in AEW, starting as a manager with Team Taz, he reintroduced it. It's changed hands a few times. As of this filming, it is held by Hook, his son. Whereas it's a plain championship, there's just something about it. It has a charm about it, a charisma. Even though it's not necessarily the best looking championship, it just grabs you for some reason. And I pit that against the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. AEW does not have a weight division championship, and I kind of hope that they keep it that way, because it really just doesn't seem to work in America as much as it does in Mexico or Japan. But the championship itself, I always loved it. When it first came out, it looked like the heavyweight championship, except the nickel plating instead of gold plating, with the exception of the backing of the name banners on the side plates. That's in gold. I like that nice little touch. And honestly, it emulates my favorite New Japan Championship of all time, which was the most recent version of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, which got unified with the Intercontinental Championship and is now the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which we'll get into later. So in the uncategorizable, gonna have to give this one to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Starting it off with AEW 0, New Japan Pro Wrestling 1. Then for the first time, I got a category of the Women's Mid-Card Championships. AEW, the first promotion I can think of in America to come out with a mid-card championship for the women. NJPW Strong has a championship for women. Some people would argue it's not a mid-card, it's the top prize on NJPW Strong, but those titles are exclusively for that show, whereas the IWGP is for everywhere, meaning the IWGP Women's Championship is their official world championship, and this is a mid-card. Deal with it. So for AEW, we got the TBS Championship. A belt that I really like. Looks almost exactly like the TNT Championship, except for the TBS logo on the main plate and the blue banner instead of the red. It's a nice looking championship. Versus the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. I'm not that crazy about it. With the exception of the Television Championship, all the Strong Championships are the same design. Only difference is the coloring on the plates and the straps. Started with the Men's Openweight Championship with a typical black strap and black lettering. Then it became the Openweight Tag Team Championships, which too much blue on that. the straps, the blue lettering, and the nickel plating. And now the women's, where the strap is pink with pink lettering. I'm not a fan of this thing that's going on with completely copying another championship with the exception of some color schemes. And again, the first one, it's okay, not great. And as it goes down the line, it gets less and less good in my opinion. So this one was a no-brainer. Goes to AEW's TBS Championship. Making it AEW 1, NJPW 1. Then in the 6-man category, AEW's Trios Championships. A championship belt that I've liked since its inception, even though I'm not crazy about the concept. I like 6-man tags, but I don't think we need 6-man tag team championships. However, the design of the belts, they're very beautiful. They're very simple. Big round oval shape with the floral patterning. Only thing I don't like about it is on TV, the part that says Trios, because of the black lettering inside the globe, it makes it hard to see that part. Versus New Japan Pro Wrestling's never open weight 6-man tag team championships. With the exception of a name that I feel is a little bit too long, I've always liked these championships. I think they're beautiful. They look exactly like the never open weight championship, with the exception of the blue inside the belt, but it does work. The overall design is very beautiful, and they look great on everybody who holds them. This one was a little bit tough, not gonna lie. Big fan of both of these championships, but if it comes down to which one do I think looks better, gotta give this one to New Japan Pro Wrestling, the never open weight 6-man tag team championships. They look a little bit better than the Trios championships. Making it so far AEW 1, New Japan Pro Wrestling 2. In the tag team category, of course, the AEW Tag Team Championships. I've talked about it ever since these came out. Been a big fan of them. I like the throwback look to the old Reggie Parks, J-Mar Intercontinental Championship, however, distinctly their own. I like the white snakeskin backing, and those go up against the IWGP Heavyweight Championships. Putting that one there was a little bit tough because I like both those and the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. The Strong Tag Team Championships, they didn't have a chance, so it didn't matter. But I would say I like the heavyweight a little bit better just because I like gold plating a little bit better than nickel. To put them up against them, they got a very classic look. It's very simple, but sometimes I think less is more. This one was another one that was really tough to decide which one do I like better. But this time, I'm going to have to give it to AEW. I don't know, maybe just because it has a little bit more going on, but not too much. I'm going to give it to AEW on this one, making it AEW 2, New Japan Pro Wrestling 2. Then in the men's lower mid-card category, because I've talked about it before, there's definitely one that's a little higher up, AEW's International Championship, a title that I absolutely love. It looks a lot like the women's, and you can see where it's uniform with the men's World Championship. However, it's distinctly its own. When it started as the All-Atlantic Championship, I like it better under the name International Championship. I just feel like that's something more people could relate to and care about. Because ultimately, growing up on the Pacific, I couldn't really care less about the Atlantic. But title design in and of itself, I like how all the plates look like they interlock together along the strap. It's very beautiful. And I pit this against the singles Never Openweight Championship. Like, the only real difference between the Never Openweight Championship and the Never Openweight 6-Man Tag Team Championships is the red backing. But like I said, I still love this design. I've always loved it. It's a Bravo-type championship. And it was their first championship that, like it says, it was open weight. It was whether you were a junior heavyweight or a heavyweight, you could go after it. This one, as much as I love the Never Openweight Championship, it wasn't very difficult, though. Gonna have to give this one to AEW. Making it AEW 3, New Japan Pro Wrestling 2. And then in the upper mid-card category, for the men, of course for AEW, it's the TNT Championship. I've loved this belt ever since it was finished. I've talked about it before. It came out in the middle of COVID. They weren't able to finish it in time, so it had none of the plates on it. It was just a straight steel plate. That was horrible looking, and I was worried about it. But when they finished it, it ended up looking like this, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the red contrasting with the nickel and gold. It pops. I love that big TNT logo on there in gold. Absolutely love this championship. Versus another championship I absolutely love, the IWGP United States Championship. It's weird to say that their highest mid-card championship at the moment is for the United States when they're a Japan-based company, but since they got rid of the Intercontinental Championship, this is their upper mid-card championship. It's very sought after, it's very coveted. However, the design itself is a little controversial. Like, I look around and I see that it's really, you really love it like I do, or you really hate it. Well, I really love it. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. As much as I'm usually not a big fan of colored straps, the red strap works very well on it. I like the design of the main plate. I like how big it is, contrasted with side plates design. I've said it many times, I can't believe that Japan made such a nice looking championship for us. when nowadays we can't seem to make a nice looking championship for us. This was another category where it was a little tough, but not that tough. Because as much as I love the TNT Championship, it is not even close to being as beautiful as the IWGP United States Championship. Meaning, it's tied up again. AEW 3, New Japan Pro Wrestling 3. Then in the Women's World category, the AEW Women's Championship. I've gone on before to say that I absolutely love this belt. It is stunning. It is, in my opinion, the best looking women's championship in any promotion ever. I love the uniform plating, with the only coloring inside the gold being black, making that gold really pop, really shine. I have loved this championship since it debuted. I've also gone on record to say that when they release the replica of it, I will very much be trying to get myself a copy. And it's the first women's championship to make me say that. Versus the IWGP Women's Championship. It's weird to say because I also love this championship. It's just come out, and it's very beautiful. It's a throwback to the second version of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship for the men. I also like how the side plates, though, look like stars because it is a combined championship for New Japan Pro Wrestling as well as the Stardom promotion, which is an all-women's promotion in Japan. It is very good looking. However, this one wasn't tough either. Beautiful as it is, it's not nearly as beautiful as the best women's championship to ever come out, in my opinion. So this goes to AEW, making it AEW 4, New Japan Pro Wrestling 3. This next category is probably not going to surprise anybody either with the Men's World Championship category. The AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Another championship that since it debuted, I have absolutely been nuts about it. I have a replica of this one. I was very gung-ho about getting one as soon as I could because it is absolutely stunning. It's big, it's a throwback to the Mid-South North American Championship, which of course I didn't like, but it's done very beautifully. Since the moment it debuted, it has been my second favorite championship belt design ever, right under the Winged Eagle belt. Versus the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. This is the championship that came out after they unified the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship. No longer is this the Heavyweight Championship, it's just the World Championship. Since the debut, the design itself, at first I was like, it's okay. At this point, I would say I like it, but I still don't really love it. I'm not absolutely crazy about it. It's good. Better than okay, but not gorgeous. In this case, with the triangular shape on the main plate versus the completely square side plates, I think it kind of takes away from the championship design rather than improving it and contrasting with it. Had they kept the previous design of the Heavyweight Championship, it would have been a little tougher to decide which one I like between these two, but not really, because as much as I love that one, that's my favorite New Japan Championship ever, still not as good looking as the AEW Championship. So the overall, AEW 5, New Japan Pro Wrestling 3. Meaning AEW wins this belt battle. But those of you who are disagreeing with me right now, don't get too mad, because I'm not knocking any of the IWGP Championships. The NJPW Championships, yeah, I'll go ahead and knock those. I'm not a big fan of any of those. But the IWGP Championships, the ones that encompass all of New Japan Pro Wrestling, I do absolutely love them. Even though AEW won by 2, this was one of my most difficult belt battles that I've done, just because I love almost all the championships in this belt battle. So don't feel bad, because the IWGP Championships are all still gorgeous. But most of the AEW Championships are just a little bit more. So there you have it. That's my wrestling video this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell me if you agree with my results. Tell me if you disagree. Tell me if you just love New Japan Pro Wrestling's championships way more than AEW's. Love you guys.